friends. Today I'm going to share a yoga video with you where we focus on the Anahata or heart chakra. I know I talked a little bit about the crown chakra in one of my first videos as well as the root. Anahata is somewhere in the middle, and the reason why I'm choosing to focus on this one, again in this time of kind of great despair throughout the world, Anahata, when it's in alignment, really gives us a sense of joy, of unconditional love, and helps us feel super connected to the world around us. So even though we're still in this idea of social distancing, we're not able to see our loved ones, our friends, give them hugs or send, any kind of physical interactions, it's still possible to really focus, manifest, and work on the internal feeling of still feeling connected to the world around us. We talked about that with our crown chakra. We talked about our root keeping us feeling safe, secure through these times of uncertainty. So now let's focus on this idea of love. Let's bring that in, let's harness that warmth, and we'll take that with us wherever we go from here in the rest of our days and whatever it is that we are doing. As with all other videos I've been sharing during these quarantine times, I will recommend that before we get started, you either wash or sanitize your hands. So I'm using my hand sanitizer now, making sure that I'm getting myself nice and clean. Just in case those hands come anywhere near our face during our practice, it's always better to be safe and make sure that we are nice and clean before we get going. I am starting by sitting on a yoga block. I've mentioned before, if you don't have a yoga block, that's more than okay. You're welcome to come to whatever kind of seated position is working best for you. I've said if you have a book or something that can support your weight that is roughly the same size as a block, you're welcome to grab that, bring it to your mat, and then come and join me once your hands are clean and you're ready with that piece of equipment. If not, just sitting flat to the floor is okay too. We just want to make sure that we're doing so in good posture. So with or without the blocks, when you are ready and with me, I want you to plant those sit bones nice and strong as if you're sitting through the block, so down and towards the ground. You're rounding your shoulders down away from the ears and you're lifting nice and tall from the top of your head. You can close your eyes just to help attain our focus. With a deep inhale, we'll sweep those arms up overhead, connecting them together. The palms will touch. I want you to then welcome those hands in towards the center of your chest. This is where our Anahata chakra resides. And we'll start right here by really focusing on this area and this idea of unconditional love. Let's maybe bring to our forefront thought someone that we really love that we're maybe just unable to see in person right now. Let's let them resonate with us and take a deep inhale through our nose. We'll follow with a nice exhale, also traveling through our nose. We'll try to take an even deeper inhale, maybe filling our chest with even more feelings of love as we really think about this person. Exhale. Repeat with an inhale that fills that body with even more love, even more positive thoughts. Exhale, we soften. From here, we maybe open our eyes so our next inhale can sweep those arms all the way up overhead. Maybe look to where they connect and then hug them back in towards the heart. As we do this, we think about collecting love from the air or the energy around us, pulling it into that heart center. Repeating again with a nice deep breath, sweeping those arms up. Exhale to hug everything into the heart. A few more times just like this. We're starting to get some shoulder mobility as well as we really focus on deep breaths in and nice breaths out. One more time here, sweep and catch as much love from the atmosphere around you as you can. Hug it into your heart and let's stay right here. From here, we'll draw our palms towards the top of our mat. Our seats will come clear of whether we were sitting on the block or maybe there's just the floor itself. Positioning knees under hips and wrists under shoulders. With an inhale, we want to drop our belly towards the ground and lift the chest nice and tall, pulling through to our cow or back bend. As we exhale, we want to push through, tucking chin to chest, nice C shaping up the spine. Our back bends are the best way we can really focus on stoking this heart chakra, meaning that as we bend through the spine, we're really pushing or lifting that chest forward. So I want you to think maybe closing those eyes, and each time you push forward into that back bend, shine that chest as far forward as you can, almost as if you're a Care Bear, shooting that love from the center of your chest to create some good in the world around you. We'll continue to do the Care Bear countdown just like this, finding our breath, really pushing or shining those chests forward. If you want, perhaps you're visualizing a nice green light shooting out of that chest. Green is our color that is associated with our Anahata chakra. So if you want, maybe that green light gets a little brighter, so push that chest forward, finding our back bend. Exhale, we will chakra coil the center. Few more Care Bear countdowns just like this. Take your time, following your own breath. Inhale, shine the chest forward. Exhale, push through to your scooch position. And from here, we have warmed up that spine. We've started to find some heat or warmth through the core, through the body. We'll maybe channel our next inhale and use it to flatten or neutralize the spine. From here, we'll lift one hand forward and the opposite toes up towards the ceiling with a nice bent knee. We'll maybe lift even more with an inhale, lifting the chest and pointing the toes. As we exhale, we'll bring our elbow in towards that knee. Inhale again, we lift to a nice beautiful back bend. Think about that Care Bear countdown, shine that chest forward. Exhale, create that warmth and hug it into center. Elbow touches knee. We'll repeat a few deep breaths here. And with our next exhale, let's tuck that elbow in towards that knee and hold for a breath. Let's resist or press knee into elbow, elbow into knee. Try to create some warmth in the body. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We'll return palms and knees towards the ground. We'll reach through the opposite hand and opposite set of toes. Inhale, shine those chests forward. Point the toes just a little taller. Exhale, coil to center. Knee touches elbow. We'll repeat with an inhale that lifts and an exhale that coils. Take your time. Follow your own breath. Think about shining that light from the chest forward with your inhale, and think about collecting or gathering warmth to center with your exhale. We'll repeat for a few breaths. And the next time that we exhale, we'll bring that elbow and that knee in towards each other. Hold for a moment. Find some extra warmth in the body by pressing that elbow into the knee, knee into the elbow. Deep breath in, deep breath out, returns palms and knees towards the ground. From here, we'll walk those hands back and towards the body as we sit back on top of our heels. Our hands will come towards our hips. We want to just lift and press those hips slightly forward. So we're not getting into a drastic back bend at this point, but we do want to press those hands maybe behind the body and just kind of shift our weight from side to side. As I said, that chest, we're really focused on shining it forward. So maybe we close that eye, close those eyes. Visualize that green light. Pretend we're that nice, bright, adventurous, strong and brave Care Bear, shining goodness out into the earth, pressing forward as we again shift that weight side to side, maybe opening slightly through the chest and fronts of the shoulders as we continue to push one hip more forward, followed by the other. With our next exhale, we will hinge through those hips, sending them all the way back towards our heels. Lengthening out through our upper body, our forehead comes towards the floor. We soften or settle into a child's pose. We want to find a few deep breaths here and maybe really think about those chests reaching towards the mat or reaching towards our laps, collecting that warmth or shining that green light. Maybe with each inhale, it shines just a little brighter. Maybe with each exhale, we press a little more into the palms of the hands, trying to drive our hips back towards our heels. From here, our next inhale will round our weight up and forward. We stack our shoulders over our wrists, but we take our knees now to the wide edges of our mat. Our feet also align themselves up the wide edges. We want to start to tip or rock ourselves forward and maybe begin to welcome those hips down and towards the mat. From here, we again shift our weight side to side, similar to how we did when we were on our knees. Trying our best to keep our shoulders away from our ears and those chests reaching or shining forward. Nice bright green lights, creating all kinds of work. Centering out, we'll hike our hips up, tuck our toes together, send our hips back, this time with a wide-legged version of our child's pose. This gives more space for our chest to fall in between those thighs. Let's visualize that green light, shine it nice and bright with our inhale. Exhale, press into those palms, send those seats closer to the heels. When we're ready, we're creating a little bit of a flow or combining some of the movements we've already practiced together. Meaning our inhale will round us up and forward. We separate those feet and slide those hips down, shift side to side. Inhale, hike those hips up, keep ourselves in our neutral spine. With an inhale, we pull the chest forward to our wide-legged cow. With an exhale, we tuck or coil the center, and then press hips back towards those heels as we slide on back. Our hands will come towards those hips. We want to push or shine those hips forward, also with the chest reaching or sending light out into the world. We will again hinge, slide back, and prepare to repeat. Inhale, round up, separate those feet, sink those hips. From here, we press those hips back, align wrists under shoulders so we can drop the bellies, push those chests forward. Exhale, scoop or tuck to center. Neutralize that spine as we send those hips back. And then slide those hands towards our hips, shining the chest and hips forward as we rise. Exhale, we hinge, we lengthen. We repeat again in our own time with our own breath, rounding up, separating those feet, sink those hips down. Coming back, we will stack, shoulders over wrists, hold those chests nice and tall. Tuck to center. Send those hips back towards those heels. Hands will follow. Care Bear countdown. Shine those chests. Push those hips forward. And again, we hinge, we lengthen, we repeat. 2 more rounds. Inhale, come on up, separate those feet, sink those hips, and shine those chests. Maintaining that warmth, we'll come back, stacking shoulders over wrists. Once again, shining those chests proudly forward, tucking the center. Toes come together, hips go back to heels. We slide on back, and as those hands find those pelvises, up we come, shine ourselves forward. Again, we hinge, we lengthen. 1 more round remains. When we're ready, we'll round up, separate those feet. Down we go. And we stack shoulders over wrists. Pull those chests nice and tall forward. Tuck to center. Push our way back. Hands will follow. And as we find those hips, up we rise. Take a few breaths here. Maybe that back bend is starting to happen a little deeper. And that's okay. If it feels good, maybe again, we're kind of shifting our weight side to side to push more of one side forward, followed by the other. At which point, we want to return to center. Stack those shoulders over those hips, so we're maybe walking those knees a little closer. From here, my left leg is extending nice and long for the side of the room. I'm pushing my weight into my pinky toe edge, so my arch is nice and lifted. Sliding my hand down and towards my calf. Opposite arm sweeps up and sweeps over, lengthening into my side body. I'm looking up so that I'm encouraging my chest open rather than rounding and sweeping forward. What I want you to think about is you don't want to block what we're trying to shine forward. So again, we're thinking about that bright green light, Anahata chakra, offering that love and that energy out into the world. So we want to make sure we're looking up, keeping that chest open to accomplish what we're looking for. Maybe we close our eyes for a moment, and as we draw a deep breath in, let's remember that person we love that we're missing right now. Exhale, send that thought out into the world so that hopefully it finds them. And we'll stay for 1 more deep inhale. Just dwelling in how that feels. Exhale, try to send or shine that light out into the world. From here, an inhale, we'll sweep those arms through to center. If it's available, we're maybe drawing the opposite palm down towards the ground. If we have a book or a block, it can pat our landing if we're unable to get right nice and flat to the floor. Opposite arm comes up and forward. We're again thinking about keeping that chest open. Keep that green light shining, no blocking. Look on up and welcome that nice honest stretch into your side body. For our next few breaths, let's flow through these 2 movements. Inhaling to reach those arms through center. Exhale, let's flow to our gate pose. Looking up, keep that chest open. Inhale, we center. Exhale, we sweep. Allowing that light and that warmth to travel as we flow side to side. So it's traveling through the body, but staying nice and bright, nice and warm, particularly in the center of our chest, which we want to keep open. So avoiding crossing those arms in front of the body, We keep our gaze upward. So again, our stretch is happening honestly in our side body, and we are not blocking the light we are creating. The next time we find ourselves reaching all the way over to this side of the room, let's look on up to the ceiling and stay right where we are. If it's available, let's see if we can start to float that long leg and drive our weight through our heel. We're still looking up, still keeping that chest open, but maybe seeing if we can bend into our knee. That heel's coming towards the seat. That top arm can then sweep back, catch the foot, and maybe drive that heel a little closer to the body. If we're still looking up, we're challenging that balance. But most importantly, we've got space for that light in the heart to continue to shine forward. We're opening through the hips, we're opening through the front of the thigh, but also front of the shoulder and slight bit of the chest. These are all important when our focus is Anahata or back bends. We need all these muscles to be nice and open. So we're taking a few breaths exactly where we are. From here, we'll slowly tuck our way to center, maybe press those hips back towards those heels, recovering in a child's pose. If it feels good, maybe we're sweeping those hips side to side. As we rest, we're maybe again returning to that vision of a person that we love and that we miss. Harness that feeling of love. Exhale, send it out and towards the world. Inhale. Harness it more on the inside. Exhale, prepare to share it. Send it out to the world. Then with our next inhale, let's slide those hands in towards the body, hugging those hips as we again rise to stack hips over those knees. Our opposite leg will lengthen to the side of the room. We're driving into that knee to edge to keep arch lifted. Our right hand will slide on down towards the calf as we sweep left arms up and over. Reminder, our goal is to keep that chest open. So look on up rather than just trying to get closer to those legs. We want that stretch honestly in the side body, but most importantly, we don't want to block that heart. As we look on up, we're taking our deep breaths in as well as out of our nose. With our next inhale, let's come through to center, sweeping those arms nice and long. A reminder that if we need our block, we can bring it on over to the other side and pat our landing as we reach that hand on down. Switch the stretch into the other side, keeping that chest open, shining that light forward. As we continue to shine that light, we want to harness a little more warmth, so that means movement. Inhale, we flow to center. Exhale, we find our knee pose, looking up, shine that chest forward. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, find your side stretch. Other side, keeping that chest open, harnessing that warmth, harnessing that light. We'll take a few more sways side to side in our own time with our own breath. The next time we find ourselves reaching towards this side of the room, let's hold. Looking up to challenge the balance. If it's available, we start to float that leg and drive our weight through our heel. Keeping that chest pushing or shining forward. If it's available, we bend into the knees, sweep the hand back to find the foot. Encourage the heel closer to the body. As a reminder, this pose is doing wonders for opening our hips, our thighs, our shoulders, our chest, as well as challenging our balance and keeping that heart or chest nice and open. We breathe into these muscles as we prepare them for the rest of our practice. And with our next exhale, back to center we come. Press those hips towards those heels and take a breather in our child's pose. And inhale again brings that vision of love or loved one into our head. Exhale sends that love out into the world. Another deep inhale to maybe shine our light a little brighter, maybe harness a little more of that thought or feeling of love, someone we miss. Exhale, we share that love with the world. Next inhale rounds us up and forward. From here, our shoulders are stacked over our wrists. Our hips are over our knees. We want to give a nice tuck to our toes and a press into the palms of our hands. We'll start by floating those knees just 1 inch above the mat. And as we find even more strength through the palms of the hands, we want to see if we can float those hips up, downward facing dog. As this is the first one we're practicing today, maybe we're giving a pedal left to right to warm up the backs of those legs. From here, taking a look towards the top of our mat, we'll lift through both heels, bend into our knees, hop, walk, or step our way towards the front of our mat. Here our hands connect with our shins, we slide up, pausing just below our knees. What I want you to think about doing here is pressing your hips behind you and pressing the tops of the heads forward, focusing on maintaining a nice long or neutral spine, which will welcome some nice length into the back of our hamstrings. And with an exhale, we round those hands down the backs of the calves and soften into a slightly deeper pull. Maybe we're shaking those heads out, no, no, no. Maybe we're nodding them, yes, yes, yes. Shining those chests into our laps, we're harnessing a little bit of warmth here. As if we're hugging that body, filling ourselves with that sensation of love. With our next inhale, rounding us up inch by inch, eventually stacking shoulders, necks, then heads. We'll check in with those feet and place them hip distance apart. With an inhale, we sweep arms overhead. I want you to connect your fingers together, press those palms on up towards the ceiling. From here, an exhale, we'll soften or bend into the knees, round or scoot through the spine as we push those palms right straight ahead. From here, an inhale, we lift nice and tall. We maybe separate those fingers, dive or hinge forward. From here, we bind those fingers together. Inhale, come on up. Pull those hands to the chest. Push or shine that light forward. Inhale, reach nice and tall. Exhale, repeat, hinge forward. Find that love in the world around you. Inhale, drive it up towards the heart. Exhale, push it out to share. Inhale, lift. Exhale, repeat. We'll take a few rotations just like this. Harnessing that warmth, harnessing that love. Bringing it up and in towards the heart, then pushing it out towards the world. Thinking about these feelings of joy, of unconditional love, of feeling connected even when we're apart. And the next time we are reaching those hands up and overhead, let's take a moment to pause. We'll maybe separate and now sweep those hands all the way behind the body. Collecting the fingers here, we offer a pull as we look nice and tall. The idea is the fronts of the shoulders as well as the chests are coming nice and open. We're looking tall, so again, that Care Bear countdown. Shine those beautiful hearts and rainbows forward. Send that love and energy out into the world. And maybe as we exhale, we hinge to those hips. Shine those chests towards your own lap and harness your own feeling of love, of support, of light. Releasing those fingers, we'll sweep them down towards our mat, hanging into our forward fold, maybe again shaking those heads or nodding them, yes, yes, yes. Let's see if we can bend into our knees if we need to secure the palms nice and flat to the floor. We will then step one foot followed by the other towards the back of our mat, pushing strong into a plank-like position. We will then push ourselves slightly forward of our wrists, encouraging our elbows nice and tight to our bodies. We bend and welcome chest towards the mat, but then push and shine those chests forward. Again, we don't want to block that light of the heart. We want to share it with the world. So we're looking tall with shoulders down away from the ears. From here, we maybe tuck both sets of toes behind us. See if we can drive our hips up and push our way to our downward facing dog. From here, we lift through those heels, bend into our knees, hop, walk, or step to find the top of our mat. Hands connect to those shins as we slide into our flat back. We then want to soften, forward fold. This time as we rise, let's see if we can sweep those arms towards the sides of the room. Collect that love that we're sharing with the world. Bring it back in towards the heart. Round those shoulders down away from the ears. And check in that those feet are hip distance apart. We again inhale, collect that love. Bring it in towards the heart. Once again, same thing, big circles, collect that love, bring it to the heart. One more time, same thing, deep breath in, and deep breath out. Let's think about that loved one as we take one more big sweep, as if we're hugging that person in and towards our heart. Shoulders are again down away from the ears, feet are still hip distance apart. This time as we sweep up with our inhale, our exhale will welcome us forward into a fold. We slide right into our flat back, hands to those shins. And as we exhale, bend into the knees if we need to set palms to the floor, stepping one foot and then the other to our plank. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows, push through to our back bend, shining those chests forward. Tucking to our toes, we hike those hips nice and tall. Lifted heels, bend through our knees, hot walker step to the top of our mat. Nice flat backs with our inhale. Exhale, we soften forward fold. Sweep those hands all the way up, collect that love, bring it in the center, preparing to repeat. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hinge forward. Slide into your flat back. Soften, forward fold into your plank. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows and shine those chests forward. Sending hips up. We'll lift those heels, bend those knees, come on up to the top of our mat, creating that warmth as we slide into our flat back. Soften, forward fold. Sweep those arms all the way overhead. Bring all that love back to your heart. 3 rounds remain. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway lift or flat back. Soften, forward fold into your plank. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows and push through to our back bend. Sending hips nice and tall. We'll lift our heels, bend our knees, hop or walk to the top of our mat. Find that flat back. Soften, forward fold. Shine your chest to your thighs. Sweep those arms all the way up. Bring that light warmth into your heart. One more time, or 2 more times I should say, 2 more rounds. We repeat in our own time, with our own breath, stepping back to our plank when we're ready. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows, shine those chests forward. Hike those hips on up, lift those heels, bend those knees, hop, walker step, slide into our flat back, softening, forward fold. Sweeping arms, love and light into the heart. Now our final round remains. Maybe we do it silently, closing those eyes, really dwelling on that feeling of love, thinking about that person that we're missing. And as we sweep those arms to the sides, collecting all that love, all that light, we will bring it back in towards our heart. Our feet are under our hips. We're finding good balance or support as we open those palms to the front of the room, shrug our shoulders down, close our eyes, and breathe into our Tadasana or mountain pose. Here we're externally rotating ever so slightly at those shoulders to provide that openness through the pec minor and through those shoulders. We're looking slightly tall to create lots of space or room for those chests to shine forward. We inhale and visualize that green light shining just a little brighter. We exhale. We send more love into the world. Inhale, that light shines a little brighter. Exhale, we send a little more love. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale to share. And then we will connect those hands all the way up overhead. Tug them one more time to the heart. As we begin to challenge our balance, we will welcome one heel in towards our seat, standing on just one foot. Maybe our hand will reach back for it and see if we can encourage that heel even closer to the body. The idea here is we want to watch that the pelvis is not elevated more to one side than the other. We want to keep it pretty level and squeeze those knees first and foremost into center. So we're not forward, we are side by side. And if we're not already feeling a stretch in the front of the thigh, we do have the option to take that knee slightly behind our center point, still really kicking into that back hand as we're driving that heel in towards the foot. We can keep our opposite hand right in the center of that chest to help keep our focus and awareness here on that bright green light shining, creating warmth and harnessing love in the center of our chest. From here, we can bring a slight bend into our standing leg and kick that back foot now all the way to the back of our mat. We'll stack our front knee over our front ankle, press our weight through our back heel, maybe open those chests and reach those hands all the way behind us. Staying here for a breath or two, we're really thinking about opening through our hips on this back leg, but most importantly, opening through those chests and finding that movement or bend through our spine. We're looking tall to, again, create lots of space here, lots of warmth, shining forward. As we exhale, we want to round or scoop, rotate our way towards the side, and maybe drop into a wide-legged version of our fold. We're maybe bending into one knee, followed by the other, scrubbing into those hips, finding some length on the backs of those thighs. Before we rotate back to the top of our mat, step our feet side by side in our plank, inch forward, bend into those elbows, push those chests nice and tall. Tucking into our toes, we'll start to hike those hips nice and high. Lift through our heels, bend through our knees, and work ourselves back to the top of our mat. Inhale, we find our flat back. Exhale, we soften, forward fold. We then sweep those arms, gather that love, gather that light, hug it on in towards our heart. Shrug shoulders down, make sure we're still hip distance apart. Beginning to challenge our balance on the opposite side. We want to bend that knee, encouraging heel towards the seat. As I mentioned on side one, we want to focus on the pelvis and keeping it level. So this side is not hiking up or elevating more. We are nice and centered. If that knee is peeking forward, we want to tuck it in so that they are side by side. And if we are feeling a nice stretch in front of our thigh, we stay as is. If we got a little more give to our flexibility, we can take that knee slightly behind center. Still squeeze that heel towards the seat, but kick into that back in. Stay for a breath. Before we bend into our standing leg, drive that foot all the way to the back of our mat. Stacking that front knee over that front ankle, pressing through that back heel. Let's open those hearts forward, look tall. Open those shoulders, open those chests. Find that bend at the spine. Let that light shine forward. From here, we rotate to the other side, drop into our wide-legged fold. Maybe start to bend one knee and then the other, scrubbing into those hips. And eventually working ourselves back to the top of our mat. Hands will frame the foot as we step it to the back of our mat in our strong plank-like position. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows. We lift the chest nice and tall. This time, what I want you to think about doing is softening inch by inch back towards the ground. Your chest will come towards your mat. I want you to welcome just one ear towards the floor, opening your arms nice and long in a T-like shape. Here we tuck both sets of toes behind us. I'll come to a side view so maybe you can see a little better what I'm doing. Tucking into my toes, I'm going to start to maybe shift my weight side to side just to get a feel for stacking those hips. Eventually what I want to do is come right on over to one side with those hands lifting up towards the ceiling and then reaching all the way behind me. My ear, my head stay nice and soft to the ground. What I'm doing is welcoming a nice deep stretch into the shoulder that's staying pinned to the ground. I'm also allowing that chest to shine forward as I again visualize that green light getting nice and bright, sharing warmth with the world. Taking a few deep breaths here. I will slowly rotate my way back to center, that T-like shape. My heels then rock in the opposite direction, so I'm stacking one hip on top of the other. My ear, my head stay nice and soft to the ground. My opposite fingers come up and reach behind me. I'm trying to open those chests, open those shoulders. And slowly I will rotate my way back to center. From here, instead of my T-like shape, let's tuck our hands behind us and flip those palms on up towards the ceiling. With an inhale, I lift or shine that chest forward and see if I can float my feet, challenging the strength of my lower back as I find my locust pose. Exhale, I soften. Inhale, I repeat. Exhale, I soften. This time I can either practice the exact same way, Or if I'm looking for a little bit of advancement, I can take my fingers, collect them behind me, and as I lift, I'm offering a pull to open even more the chest and the fronts of my shoulders. Still shining those chests nice and proudly, thinking about that green light, shining that love into the world around me. Exhale, I soften. From here, I maybe bend one knee, followed by the other. My first step is to reach my hands back to see if I can find my feet. If I'm able to connect my hands around my feet, I can start by encouraging heels a little closer to the seat. My next step will be maybe trying to float my thighs just 1 inch up off the mat, just challenging that stretch through the fronts of my legs. I'll repeat with an inhale that maybe lifts the thighs just 1 inch, and exhale that softens. One more time, I press into those feet, drive my heels to my seats, but lift those thighs. Perhaps this is where I breathe and continue to practice, or perhaps I'm ready for a little bit of advancement. If I am, my inhale will start by lifting my chest, pressing into my feet, kicking into my hands, and maybe finding a slight back bend as I lift, shining chest forward, opening those shoulders, stretching through those thighs, looking nice and tall, welcoming all kinds of warmth and light into the world. With an exhale, I slowly soften back towards the ground, release my feet, tuck my fingertips under my shoulders and squeeze my elbows to my ribs. From here, I'm hiking my hips just a little bit up off my mat, and then finding my upper body strength to push my weight up and push my weight back. Relaxing into my child's pose where maybe I want to shift those hips side to side. Draw my awareness back to my deep breaths in, my deep breaths out, visualizing that person I miss and that I want to harness some loving thoughts about. Lengthening back to center. An inhale rounds me up. I stack those shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Similar to one of the poses we practiced at the very start of this video, I'll reach one hand forward and reach the opposite toes up towards the ceiling with a bent knee. If it's available, I'm sweeping my hand all the way back from my foot and trying to, again, encourage my heel towards my seat. I can stay right here if this is challenging enough for my balance, or I can start to press into my foot and kick into my hand, see if I can open, again, to a nice back bend, giving you a side view here. Shining those chests forward, taking a few deep breaths to maintain. And exhale, I will soften, returning to center. Reaching opposite hand forward, opposite toes for the ceiling. Sweep that hand back, starting first by trying to encourage my heel towards my seat. Kicking into my hand, pressing into my foot, I maybe start to lift to my back bend, looking nice and tall, thinking about shining that green light forward. My exhale will slowly soften or return back to my all-four position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Tucking into both sets of my toes, I'll start to drive hips nice and tall. From here, I lift my heels, bend my knees, work myself once again to the top of my mat. Sliding my hands into my flat back, softening, forward fold. Sweeping my hands up to collect that love, collect that light, hug it into my chest. Shoulders slide away from my ears. I make sure those feet are still hip distance apart. Challenging my balance again. One side will kick my heel towards my seat. I stand on one foot. I maybe reach that same hand back and try to squeeze my heel a little closer to my glute. From here, that chest that is shining nice and proudly forward will maybe start to tip towards the ground. What this does is challenge my balance on my standing leg, but also start to work that stretch into the front of my thigh on this bent knee. If this is challenging, I can stay right here. If it's available, I can start to kick into that hand, press into that foot, and see if I can lift nice and tall, coming through to my dancer's pose. It's a nice, proud feeling posture where we've got good strength, good warmth. What I want you to think about doing is, again, that Care Bear countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just let that light go. Let it shine into the world. Let it send love. Let it send warmth. here, we'll slowly tap back to center. Release the foot back to the mat. Position those feet under those hips as we switch sides. Opposite heel towards the seat. Hand comes back and squeezes that heel towards the glute, starting with a nice level pelvis. That hand keeps our marker on our chest or our Anahata chakra. We see if we can hinge forward. We can stay here if this is our challenge, or we can start to kick into the hand, press into the foot, and rise. Nice, tall, and strong in our beautiful dancer's pose. Our nice balancing back bend to, again, shine those chests forward. Fill the room with love, with light. And an exhale will return us back to center. Inhale, we sweep nice and tall. Exhale, we hinge. We maybe slide into our flat back. And we maybe soften to our forward fold. Hands will find the mat as we step back to our plank. Inching forward, we bend into those elbows. We push through to our back bend. We maybe think now about sliding those hips right on back towards those heels. And from here, we slide hands back towards those hips. We maybe find our block once again. With or without the block, if it's okay to proceed, we maybe position it right in front of us and turn our fingers in towards our body and try to press those wrists down towards the block or maybe the floor. The idea here is we're trying to find some mobility through those wrists, maybe a stretch through those forearms. If it feels good, we maybe pedal one hand followed by the other. After a few breaths here, exploring that wrist and forearm mobility, we maybe think about shifting now so that those hands or fingers find the sides of the room, wrists are shining in towards each other. With an inhale, we want to lift forward and press into those hands. Challenge the strength of those wrists and forearms. See if you can float your knees just an inch up off the mat. We then want to soften, sit our way back, maybe return to our original position where we're shifting our weight side to side, exploring that mobility and stretch through the wrists. I find that if more of my palm touches the block or my wrists are reaching a little more to the front of it, I'm getting a deeper stretch than if I walk my wrist towards the closer edge of the block to my body. So you pick what is feeling best for you. You find a few breaths there before we want to again explore that strength. So those wrists face in towards each other, those fingers out to the sides of the room. Let's round our weight up, so shoulders stacked over wrists, press into the block with the ground, and lift those knees just 1 inch up off the ground. You might be wondering what this has to do with your Anahata chakra, as we're not necessarily shining those chests forward. I promise you we will get there. We just want to prepare and warm those wrists just a little bit first. Maybe again finding that paddle-like movement. Before one more time, welcome to the sides. We'll lift those hips up, press, and float those knees. I'll give you a side view so again you can see a little more what I'm doing. Engaging the core, strengthening the shoulders, strengthening the wrists. Exhale, I soften. Maybe keeping that block close by. What I want to do is sweep my legs in the same direction so I can slide my hips behind me and my legs out front. Here, I'm going to turn sideways so you get a better feel of what I'm doing, but you can stay facing the direction you are. Bend into your knees, tuck your heels, strong to the floor, point your toes upward. Round those shoulders back and lengthen those arms so you've got a nice, strong and long spine, a nice, strong and warm core, but a nice open chest shining forward. From here, arms will sweep on up. We'll turn our palms face straight ahead. Maybe lift just a little taller with an inhale. As we exhale, we want to start to connect each section of our spine nice and flat to the ground. When we arrive, we're bending into our knees, maybe readjusting. I'm going to come a little more center on the mat here so that you can see what I'm doing. My knees are about hip distance apart, and I'm finding strength with the soles of my feet. If it feels good, I want to take my block, lift my hips, and place this just under my sacrum or lowest section of my spine. I will then release and allow my weight to just melt itself on top of that block, or maybe I'm still nice and flat to the floor. Taking a few deep breaths here, I'll maybe take my hands and frame either side of my body, palms down towards the ground. My chest or my front line is nice and open, shining towards the ceiling. Finding strength through the palms of my feet. Similar to how we practice with the strength of our wrists, I want to press downward and see if I can lift my pelvis up, coming to a nice strong bridge position. My hip flexors are opening, the fronts of my thighs are stretching. Maybe I release to again soften my sacrum towards that block. My chest is still open, still glowing that nice green bright light. Maybe I close my eyes to again think about that person I love. Think about what that feels like. Harness that warmth and that joy. Then maybe I start to press even more into my feet, driving those hips a little taller, shining that chest a little more forward, sharing my love out and with the world. Strengthening those thighs, squeezing and strengthening my glutes at the same time as still focusing on that Anahata chakra. One more time. I lower towards my block. I let my lower back relax. My eyes are maybe closed so I can focus on my breath and focus on my loved one. And then one more time. Find that strength in the soles of my feet, strengthen my thighs, strengthen my glutes. Up I rise. Shining more of my front line open, I do have the option to free that block from my lower back and instead interlace my fingers under my body. What this will do is allow me to roll my shoulders under and maybe lift even deeper into my bridge pose. If it's available, I maybe lift my heels, maybe walk my tippy toes even closer to my body, and maybe that allows me to lift even higher. I take a breath here to harness this warmth and this strength. I feel supported. I feel full of joy. Right now, I'm thinking of my beautiful baby girl who has recently decided she loves lifting her little hips up into bridge pose. That's filling me with so much joy, so much love, and so much light right now. As I exhale, I will slowly soften down and towards my mat. Maybe you still have your block under, and that's okay. You can let that lower back relax. I'm tipping myself just a little more forward because I do feel I might have shifted behind me or out of screen for you guys. From here, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Feel that warmth. Feel that love. And you decide if your practice has you staying right where you are, just meditating and focusing on that loved one, on that green light in your chest, filling you internally with more love and light, and exhaling to share more of that love and light with the world around you. And this could be exactly where you breathe, hold, and practice, or if it is within your strength, your balance, your flexibility, we do have the option to add one more advancement. And this is why we did so much wrist prep. So if you are with me and are prepared to try, what you want to do is take the palms of your hands and sweep them all the way behind you so that they frame your head. You are palm down towards the ground. Your fingers are pointing in towards your body, and your elbows are shining nice and strong towards the ceiling. You want to make sure you are feeling strong enough through the upper body, open enough through shoulders and chest, strong enough through the thighs and the glutes, to start to press against the floor with both your hands and your feet, and maybe start to drive your chest and front line open and up towards the ceiling. Take a few deep breaths. Really think about that Care Bear chest. Shine that love, shine that light. And very carefully, when you are ready, you will slowly bend into your elbows. Make sure you're tucking your head nice and flat to the floor, not collapsing on the tops, putting compression on the neck. Your lower back comes towards the floor. You'll hug your knees towards your chest. Sweep those arms, tucking them around the body. Give yourself a nice big hug. Fill yourself with a sensation of warmth, of support. Maybe sweep yourself side to side. Congratulate your body on whatever you were able to accomplish. And again, draw your awareness to that center of your chest. Focus on all those feelings of love, of warmth, of joy, of light. And right now, we're hugging them right into our bodies, nice and tight. We want to take these feelings and take these visions with us wherever we go from here, and whatever it is we do with the rest of our day. Maybe giving yourself one more big squeeze, nice and tight. As we release those feet to the wide edges of the mat, but point those knees on up towards the ceiling. We'll release our arms in a T-like shape and just let those knees fall from one direction all the way over to the other. Maybe challenging these movements to happen nice and slowly to help encourage us to slow our breath down. Really enjoy the fullness of each and every inhale and the completeness of each and every exhale. Let this movement scrub out those hips, those lower backs, but still offer lots of openness through the chest. That light is still shining. We're still sharing everything we've created with the world around us. Thinking about how we're all still connected even when we're apart. After a few more sweeps, side to side, let's center out. Let's stretch those legs nice and long with feet still working their way towards the sides of the room, toes relaxing in either direction. We'll snow angel or slide those hands down somewhere beside the hip where we still have a comfortable distance of separation between the arms and the body. The backs of the hands are resting against the floor. The palms are surrendering their way towards the ceiling. This helps us create or maintain that slight bit of external rotation through the shoulders, which keeps that chest area nice and open. We close our eyes if we haven't already. We try to soften through the lower back, soften through the glutes, backs of the thighs, and all the way down into the heels. We maybe visualize the shoulder blades sweeping down and away from the ears, creating a nice, flat, comfortable surface through our upper back. We relax the neck. We release any tension from the base and from the jaw. We let the back of the skull rest, secure and supported against the ground beneath us. We take another inhale to shine our light nice and bright. We take an exhale to share our light with the world. We give ourselves permission to stay here for however long we feel we need to. If you're having a little more challenging of a time dealing with the stress in the world, you'll want to stay here maybe just a little bit longer. Take this time for yourself where everything is okay, where you're harnessing and thinking about these feelings of love and of joy. So inhale, let that light consume you. Exhale, let that light shine with the world. Each new inhale, we think about more feelings of warmth, more feelings of love. And as we exhale, we think even more about sharing it with someone we miss, someone we love. As I said, please feel free to stay here as long as you wish. Enjoy your well-deserved Shavasana. Take the time to heal your body, heal your mind. And when you're ready, you'll take these ideas and visions of love, of light, and of warmth with you for the rest of your day, maybe the rest of your week. Maybe share them with others in your home. Maybe more of your day is now spent with a nice big smile on your face, knowing that we are all in this together, and we will be able to connect again in person soon. Leaving you with love and with light and with all the warmth from my Care Bear chest to yours. Namaste.